The call came on a quiet Thursday morning, the kind that usually began with coffee, spreadsheets, and the hum of confidence that came from running a billion-dollar empire. "Miss Thompson?" The voice on the other end trembled slightly. "This is Christopher Martinez from Elite Celebrations. I'm calling about your brother Ryan's housewarming party this Saturday. Yes?" He hesitated. "Your parents have requested that we remove you from the guest list, but they said your $35,000 contribution should remain in place." The pen froze in my hand. Outside my glass office walls, the skyline shimmered, dotted with luxury homes I'd built. "Remove me from the guest list?" I repeated, my tone calm but cutting. "What explanation did they provide?" "They felt your presence might not project the right image for Ryan's new community. It's a very exclusive crowd." A humorless laugh escaped me. "You mean Willowbrook Estates?" "Yes, that's the one," he said, uncertain. "The luxury community I designed, financed, and still own?" Silence. "Cancel the event," I said evenly. I can't just—" "Yes, you can. The clubhouse, the catering, the furniture, every inch of that celebration is mine. My companies own them all." When the call ended, I leaned back in my chair, staring at the empire that stretched far beyond my family's understanding. 7 years ago, they'd called me the family disappointment, the girl who'd wasted her business degree selling furniture. They hadn't seen the evolution, how that little boutique became Aurora Holdings, a $2.9 billion powerhouse spanning luxury retail, manufacturing, real estate, and hospitality. They didn't know the woman they pitied had quietly built the world they lived in. Minutes later, my phone buzzed. Ryan. "Sophia, what the hell did you do?" he barked. "The planner's saying everything's canceled, that you own the catering company and the venue. That can't be true." "It's completely true. You work at a furniture store." "I own 17 furniture stores," I said, "and every company tied to your party. I'll send documentation." Click. 20 minutes later, my phone lit up again. Ryan, my mother, my father. I ignored them all. Instead, I studied the guest list. Investors, socialites, developers, people who'd been my clients. They wanted the illusion of prestige, and I'd been financing their fantasy all along. Hours later, my parents finally cornered me by phone. "Honey," my mother began, syrupy sweet, "Ryan showed us some very confusing paperwork. We had no idea you'd expanded your little business so much." "Little business?" I repeated softly. My father cut in, stern and diplomatic. "Sophia, we owe you an apology. We didn't realize how big your operation had become. But surely we can fix this misunderstanding about the party." "There's nothing to fix," I said. "You decided I wasn't welcome. You just wanted my money." "That's not fair," he argued. "This was about Ryan making the right impression." "No," I said, "it was about your pride. 3 months ago, you asked when I'd get a real job. You told me to apply at a department store, while my stores were outselling them." Silence. Then my mother's voice, fragile now. "We love you, Sophia. We've always admired your entrepreneurial spirit." My spirit. Not my success, not the lives I've changed, just spirit. That night I made a decision. I had my finance team compile a report, every financial favor I'd extended to my family. The results were brutal. Ryan's low-interest mortgage, my parents' discounted home renovation, the furniture gifts that were quietly covered by my personal account. They'd been living off my generosity without realizing it. But revenge wasn't the point. Understanding was. So I arranged something different. A genuine housewarming for Ryan. No investors, no social climbers. Just his real neighbors, the people who'd lived beside him for years. Saturday dawned golden and calm. I was reviewing architectural drafts when my security camera pinged. My mother's Mercedes, crawling up my private drive. None of them had ever seen my home before. I opened the intercom. "How did you find me?" "We asked the guard at Willowbrook," Ryan said, voice tight. "Sophia, we need to talk." I buzzed them through. They stepped inside, wide-eyed. My mother gasped at the floating staircase. My father ran his hand over the custom millwork, and Ryan whispered, "This place is extraordinary." "I worked with my design team on every detail," I said simply. "The furniture's all from my collections." "Why didn't you tell us?" Ryan asked, almost pleading. "Because I wanted you to value me for who I am, not what I own." My father's voice softened. "Sophia, we were wrong. We didn't understand what you were building." "No," I said, "you didn't want to understand. You thought retail was beneath you. But I build homes, communities, spaces where people live their dreams. You just never asked what my work really meant." Tears shimmered in my mother's eyes. We made mistakes. My phone buzzed. A message from my community relations director. "Neighborhood welcome party ready. 15 families confirmed." "There's something you should know," I said. "I arranged a real housewarming for Ryan, not the one you planned. A community barbecue. His actual neighbors are waiting at the clubhouse." Ryan blinked. "You did this for me?" "For you," I said softly, "and for the people who'll become your real family here." My mother covered her mouth, sobbing. "We're so sorry, Sophia. We turned it into a networking circus." "I can forgive you," I said after a long pause, "but things must change. I won't be your embarrassing daughter who writes checks from the shadows." "They will change," my father promised. "We want to understand what you've built." The barbecue was perfect. Children ran across the lawn, laughter filled the air, and Ryan mingled with neighbors who welcomed him warmly. My father raised a glass, voice trembling. "To my son, Ryan, for finding not just a house, but a home. And to my daughter, Sophia, who taught us that real success is building something that lets others thrive." Applause rippled through the crowd. Later, as the sun melted into the lake, Ryan found me by the fire pit. "I owe you an apology," he said quietly. "I thought your work was small. Now I see it's the foundation for everything I do. You build the world people dream of living in." "Both our work matters," I said. "We just measure meaning differently." "Maybe we could work together," he offered. "Financial literacy workshops for your residents. Help them plan for long-term stability." I smiled. Now that's an idea worth building on. 6 months later, Ryan's financial workshops were thriving. My developments had waiting lists. Families who once saw our communities as luxury investments now saw them as home. That evening, over dinner at my parents' house, a new tradition, my mother smiled across the table. "Ryan says he's never been happier. He found his purpose." "And you found yours long ago," my father added. "We just weren't wise enough to see it." Ryan's daughter ran to me, clutching a drawing. "Aunt Sophia, I made this for your office. It's our house, and all our neighbors are happy." I hugged her tightly. "It's beautiful. It's everything I ever wanted to build." As laughter filled the room, I realized the truth. Canceling that housewarming hadn't divided my family, it rebuilt it. Not through wealth or pride, but through understanding. Because in the end, the strongest empires aren't made of stone or glass. They're built on love, humility, and the courage to stand tall even when your own family doesn't see your worth. And that, I thought, watching them laugh under the warm light of home, was the real foundation.